afternoon, everyone. We'll call it about 15 minutes closer to 5 o'clock than usual on a Man Up Monday edition of The Drive with Q. As always, I'm your host, Rich Quinones, mi hermano, Angel Martinez, behind the glass, producing the show, keeping us on the air. We'll take you up to 6 o'clock straight up on this 2nd of December, 2024. Coming at you live inside the friendly confines of the SR 1029 FM studios, part of the Coastal Sports Network, also a branch of Broad Street South. We are brought to you by our good friends over at Fresh Roasted Coffee. Don't forget, in our show notes, 20% off your first purchase, BYP20. Play It Again Sports, Zen Auto Concepts. We'll do the drive of the game on this Man Up Monday edition of The Drive with Q. And as I mentioned, hope everyone had a good sports weekend. You guys enjoyed your extended holiday Thanksgiving. Hopefully the tryptophan it sat in your system for a little bit because you didn't have to watch that yuck of games on Thursday. Good little sprinkle of college football. And then what did we learn in the NFL past this weekend? And let's start with the NFL. Week 13 already. We know the season is just basically rapid fire. We know how it works. We already saw a head coach on the chopping block. We already knew the Bears were going to get rid of Eberflus. I mean, that was a debacle on Thursday. You also have to blame the quarterback, but talk about situational football. We also saw with the Raiders, Antonio Pierce is pretty much going to be done. But my two biggest, or I will say three biggest takeaways, and you guys can chime in as always, 727-858-6650. My two biggest takeaways from this weekend in the NFL. Josh Allen won the MVP last night. The MVP award, the debate, the discussion, as much as you guys want to throw the Hurtses of the world, the Saquon Barkleys, the Patrick Mahomes, the Sam Darnolds, the Jordan Loves, who else am I missing here? I mean, just run through the gamut of whoever you guys want to throw out there. The Derrick Henrys, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, again, won the MVP last night in a game where really, if you kind of read between the lines, the 49ers, who have just been a battered, bruised, and beaten up team all season long, they're going to lose McCaffrey again. He goes down to an injury, and I'm telling you right now, they're beyond cooked. The injuries have just, I don't know if it's a backslide, but last night in the snow, if you guys played that game, if you listened to us during BYP over the weekend, we like the Bills to cover. I didn't think it was going to be a 30-something point. We like to call it a snow clipping on a Sunday night, but the Niners are done. Put them out to bed. I don't care about that division. We'll get into that a little bit. But Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills right now, they are the best team in the NFL. This is not an indictment on Kansas City, which I'll talk about their weaknesses. This is not an indictment on the Philadelphia Eagles, which, oh, by the way, the Philadelphia Eagles flexed their muscle yesterday. Really didn't do a lot offensively, but when they had to, they flexed their muscle. We'll get into your comments, I promise. They flexed their muscles against the Baltimore Ravens, and then the Detroit Lions turned around. Boom. The Detroit Lions finally were able to just kind of dispatch, right? We talked a little bit about it on Wednesday's show. The Lions, they're a team that when you look up, good teams figure out a way to win in the NFL. And again, because of the Bears gaffed, they were able to kind of get through the Bears and now 11-1. But for my money at this moment, the Buffalo Bills are the best, most complete team in the NFL. They can beat you in a variety of ways. And I'm not saying the Eagles can. I'm not saying the Chiefs can. I'm not saying the Lions. Those are flawed teams as well. I think Josh Allen is on a mission right now. I watched that game last night. You could have went to bed at halftime because the Niners didn't even show up. They rolled over like the snow that was being shoveled out of that stadium. But I think right now, Josh Allen has elevated his game. He's taken it to another level. The other takeaway from the NFL yesterday, and I really want to get into this with you guys as well. What I saw watching the Jacksonville and the Texans game with Azeez Al-Shaair and the dirty hit on Trevor Lawrence, the absolutely blatant, dirty, absolutely nasty hit on Trevor Lawrence. That play yesterday was not a football play. That play yesterday was deliberate. There was intent, there was malicious intent. And I think if the NFL wants to send a message, you suspend him for the rest of the season, including the playoffs, plus a hefty fine. And if they want to turn around and suspend him all through next year, and I know what you guys are saying right away, Q is cranky because we already saw what happened to the Giants on Thanksgiving. He ain't getting enough turkey. He didn't get some pumpkin pie. He's got to eat some humble pie on this Man Up Monday. He's taking it way. He's exaggerating this. It shouldn't be this kind of suspension. Yeah, it should. Because when you knock out a player like that and you see the bell, the arm is raised like that, right? And you can see that that's where traumatic brain injuries occurs. The CTEs occur. I mean, I've seen that in fighters that have gotten knocked out before they've even hit the canvas. They're out like a light. When you see that arm is raised like that in that position, the fencing position, it's never a good thing. I threw it on the CSN Twitter account as well. What are you guys thinking right now? Suspension, 69% suspension rest of the season, 23% fine and 4-game suspension, 7% very heavy fine. And I've got some guys commenting in because they think I'm taking it way too overboard with this, but I'm not. I think the NFL, that's unacceptable. That's not a football play. And that's when players lose their livelihood, they lose their careers, and they can really get injured. And it's a good thing Trevor Lawrence is okay. He responded. And I get it. Al-Shaair, he's going to come out. He's going to apologize. Yeah, he's going to apologize. But that was a horrible hit. And the problem is now we're talking body of work. If you look at this kid, body of work, like what the hell are you thinking? He's already been fined a couple times this season. And you heard D'Amico Ryan say, we don't preach that. We don't teach that. Well, listen, I'm telling you right now, there's no place in football for that at all. There is no place in football for that kind of nonsense. So that was the other takeaway. And then the third takeaway, and we'll get in your comments. We'll open it up in a moment. The last takeaway, man, I'll tell you, we're so quick to pull the trigger on some of these young quarterbacks, but I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, if you guys have kind of looked up a little bit. You know, Richardson, Young, starting to play a little better. You know, Bo Nix, we'll see him tonight. Jaden Daniels, Washington. You know, I'm wondering where the bunker boys are because Washington had a very nice win yesterday, and Daniels, again, put up some gaudy numbers. I think Bo Nix is going to be Offensive Player of the Year. And we're starting to also see, conversely, the veterans that you put all your eggs in one basket, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, they have absolutely blown up their teams. They have absolutely direct. If you're a Jet fan and you're watching what Aaron Rodgers is doing, this arrogant, smug Aaron Rodgers, he's basically fractured and blown up that franchise. And listen, would it be an embarrassment to bench him, or would it be more of an embarrassment to keep playing him as the Jets go to 3-14? Because that's where they're headed. And then you saw the debacle that is Kirk Cousins as well. So we got a lot of NFL. Best team in the NFL right now. For my money, I'm telling you, coming out of the AFC, I think it's the Buffalo Bills. I think overall, I still make a case for Detroit in the NFC. Eagles, very impressive yesterday, on the road, mind you. And what I saw from the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday, it reminded me, if I can kind of take it from a boxing analogy, where, you know, you start going to the body, then eventually the head's going to fall. And you knew, and I text my buddy this, it was just a matter of time before Saquon was going to go off. And again, Saquon breaks one. The Eagles didn't do a ton offensively yesterday, but their defense is really good. And I think, and again, it does pain me to say this, Buffalo to me is the best team in the NFL. I just think they can run the football. They play defense. They have an all-world, all-pro. They have a quarterback playing at a extremely high level in Josh Allen. But if I take a step back and you say, right now, who's the most physical team in the NFL, and you don't want to play them, you don't want to have to go on the road, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. It really is, because yesterday, and this is why, and I think you guys can appreciate this, and my buddies were bringing this up, and they were making some really good points. The NFL, it's a game of inches. It really is. Guy runs the wrong route, tip pass, tip ball, holding, drop pass. That game yesterday, Baltimore's up 9-0. They're really dominating the Eagles. And Lamar Jackson misses a wide open throw down the sideline. You get a fumble, you get a third and long. That forces a long kick. And oh, by the way, kickers, we're going to get to you later on in the show. And then, of course, you think you have a dominant all-world kicker in Tucker, and he missed what? 3 of them yesterday? 2 of them in an extra point, 7+ points, 9+ points. That changed the course of that game. And the Philadelphia Eagles took advantage of it. Hurts's numbers were not gaudy. Saquon's numbers at the end, they weren't gaudy, but it was a very yeoman-like, workman-like 100 yards on the ground. Lamar Jackson played himself out of the MVP yesterday. I mean, taking sacks, missing throws, holding on to the football. I'm telling you right now, the game itself, it comes down to a couple plays in the NFL. And we saw it yesterday. We saw it in the Saint game. We saw it in the Raiders game. Saw it in the Giants game. Saw it in the Jets game. Leonard Williams, absolute dominating performance. Blocked PAT, pick 6, couple fumbles, couple sacks. I'm telling you, physically, the Eagles will just punch you in the mouth. They will. The Eagles are physical in the sense that the 49ers were physical last year. But then from a whole, I still think the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs are not the best team in the NFL. You know, you can argue the Lions if you have to go on the road coming out of the NFC. I have no problem saying Buffalo, Detroit, Philly, 1A, 1B, 1C, or 1-2, 2A, 2B. I just think that the NFC, you look at the NFC and how it breaks down conference-wise, it's a scary proposition, man. It really is. But then in the AFC, who's really going to be a threat besides Kansas City? Buffalo can beat Kansas City. Buffalo can beat Baltimore. They have to do it in the playoffs. They do. But I'm not scared out of the Houston Texans. I'm not. Are you? I wouldn't be. They haven't overly impressed me. CJ Stroud, I mean, can we talk about him? He's taken a step back. Pittsburgh, that was a hell of a win against Cincinnati. Russell Wilson, I'll man up right now. Russell Wilson might be comeback player of the year. And as crazy as this sounds, do we even throw him into the MVP conversation? I mean, that is, you want to talk about a dark horse of dark horses. Russell Wilson, and I thought he was done. I thought he was shot. I thought he was cooked. Russell Wilson has played really well in 6 games. Now, I know it's only been 6 games, but I say tongue-in-cheek, he's playing at a high level. But Pittsburgh doesn't scare me. The Texans don't scare me. Miami, even if they get in, they don't scare me. They don't. The Chargers, Denver. I mean, what teams really? It's for the Bills are right there. The Kansas City Chiefs are a lucky team, man. They are a lucky team that I believe at this moment they are leaking oil like the Patriots did in 2007, where they were blowing everyone out. Come on, man. Look at some of these games. A flag here, a pick here, a drop here, another bogus missed call on offsides. I mean, the Raiders shot themselves in the foot. Then Kansas City blocks a field goal 2 weeks ago. They win on a field goal. They block another field goal. You can only do that so much in the NFL before it bites you in the ass and it catches up with you. Really. That's how it is in the NFL. Like the football gods will smile on you for so long. For so long, they will smile for you. But then ultimately, they can turn around and they can be just not willing to cooperate, let's just say. And I think that's going to happen in Kansas City. 727-858-6650. 5 o'clock straight up. We got 60 to play with, just cranking it up on a Man Up Monday edition of The Drive with Q. Rich Quinones here. Mi hermano Angel Martinez behind the glass. Hope you guys had a great holiday, Thanksgiving. You guys ate a little bit. You drank a little bit. The beverage of your choice. Maybe you put a little coin in the pocket. We will open up the comments. I see them coming through and already tweaking some of our listeners, our loyal listeners, who we like to say at times can be, what's the word that I lose last week? Did I call them jackass listeners? Well, but I said it, I think I said it in a loving tone, didn't I? No, I didn't. All right, you're shaking your head. I thought you were going to pop up on the screen. You know, it's top of the hour. I thought we were going to see the incredible shrinking Hermano. We thought he was going to flash for a minute. Obviously, that's not the case. Oh, there.
I don't know if you used it in the most politest terms, but it wasn't derogatory and it wasn't hurtful. So no,
It wasn't like that hit on Trevor Lawrence.
Correct.
There was not malice or malicious intent by my words or my comments.
Yeah, it's more like a little hit from Bert and Ernie.
About that, for referencing Sesame Street. What do you count chocolate over there? What are you going to count to 10? What the fuck? 727-858-6650. All right, quick timeout. We'll roll off the comments on the other side. Guys are coming from Facebook as well as X and, of course, on the show. Don't forget you can download the app, SR 1029 FM. The game, Southwest Florida's newest game in town, part of Coastal Sports Network. We are live on my YouTube channel, Rich Q on Q, and, of course, on Broad Street South. And already I can see the angry, the saltiness coming through. And really, it's funny because when you start to poke at some of these teams, we see again where some of the fans are. No, we'll get them on the other side. 727-858.
I haven't banned them, but I'm getting close.
Yeah, I hear you. 6650. 60 to play with. We'll take up to 6 on a Monday.
Ion Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, iontb.com. Ion Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Ion Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Call or text the show at 727-858-6650. Now, back to Q.
All right, a couple minutes past 5 o'clock hour on the East Coast. We'll take you up to 6 on a Man on Monday edition of The Drive with Q. Rich Quinones here. Angel Martinez behind the glass, shrinking away. 727-858-6650. By the way, let me get to some of these comments on X real quick. This is regarding the Al-Shaair, my opening monologue. Eric chiming in. First time catching you, enjoying the show, but you got to ask yourself, how was it delivered when it was obviously a late slide? I watched them many times in decisions like this or split second decisions, and things are going to happen in contact sport. I think the elbow to the helmet warrants a fine, but I don't see a suspension being warranted. That's Eric on X. Listen, I think if the NFL makes a statement, you can make the argument, suspend him for the rest of the season, heavy fine in the playoffs. And honestly, man, I'll tell you, it was such a brutal, vicious hit that I can even see suspension next year, going into next year. And maybe I should pump the brakes and say all of next year. But you also have to look at sometimes players' body of work. And we know now so much with CTE. And like I said, when the hand was lifted like that, I'll ask this question to Eric and you guys out there. If that hit if that hit was absorbed by Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, are we I mean, are we just going to say heavy fine and a 2 or 3 game suspension? Right? I mean, first of all, you got Trevor Lawrence coming back from an injury, non-throwing shoulder, right? You got Jacksonville going through a bad season. He breaks out of the pocket. I get it. Clean shot, free reign. Here we go. But if you watch the play, he slides in like a forearm. I mean, that could have been a debilitating injury for Trevor Lawrence. So I throw out those other quarterbacks. Are we glossing over it because it's Trevor Lawrence? And maybe some people don't think he's a franchise quarterback, but those other quarterbacks that I mentioned, Josh Allen, Mahomes, we're talking franchise quarterbacks, faces of the NFL. I'm not saying the decision should be solely based on that, but the body of work, and you look at the fact that he's also been flagged and penalized and fined several other times. I love the fact that Evan Ingram and the Jacksonville Jaguars, his teammates, came to his rescue. All right, let's open it up. 727-858-6650. Let's read them off. See what the knuckleheads have to say on this Monday. Man up Monday. About to lower the boom. We are. See, Trevor chimes in early. What am I slipping on?
I don't know. I was trying to figure that one out.
Who knows? I don't know. X-Man, trying to tell you, Q, in October, the Niners are cooked. You did. All the injuries have started to hit the Niners. The drive with Q makes my afternoon complete. Well, we appreciate that, Joey. Thank you very much. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Right back at you. The Niners are cooked. Eagles lock to make is that a reversed mush? A lock to make the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me?
Got to write that one down. Let's see. It is 5/10 Hero, December 2nd.
That's funny because it's the same commenter you were thinking about blocking. Giving a little.
We're going to get to that one. We'll get to that one.
Well, because you probably butchered something, and the listening audience.
I surely didn't.
Detroit defenders falling like fly. Yeah, Detroit's got some issues in the secondary and some of the defensive ends, but they also picked up a couple players. I binge ate green bean casserole watching our hapless Giants. So hold on. Let me get to the Giants real quick. It's so bad once again that I enjoyed the fact that they lost, if that makes sense. Because Drew Lock is not the answer. And there's a reason that he was the backup. DeVito's not the answer. Like, we're past the whole Jones thing. You've got Dexter Lawrence out for the season. How about Thibodeau, who's been a friggin' bust, comes out today. Okay, hold on. Let me get to this real quick. This is Thibodeau, Kayvon Thibodeau, who's an okay player, but he's not a great player. He's just not. So Thibodeau comes out to the media today because, you've got all these players like Malik Neighbors, young rookie, who, oh, by the way, throws everyone under the bus, the quarterback that's no longer here, the head coach for the play calling, and he drops all these passes. So Neighbors needs to shut up. So here's Thibodeau. Thibodeau says an NFL locker room should operate as a meritocracy. First of all, is that, do I have to Google that? Is that a legit word? Meritocracy?
Meritocracy. I don't know. X-Man.
No, it is. Okay, hold on. I don't need to defer to him. Meritocracy. Government or the holding of power by people selected on the basis of their ability. All right, hold on. Let me just get this out of the way. So he says, quote, if you make plays, you have a voice. If you don't make plays, you don't have a voice. So then he should not talk.
Exactly.
He should be silent forever because he's done nothing his Giant career. So to Joey's point, yeah, it was a brutal watch. And by the way, they're probably going to be 3.5, 4.5 point dogs this weekend to the Saints. Let them go 2-15. All right, 727-858-6650. What do we got going on here? A lot of mumbling, stuttering pricks in Seattle.
Uh-huh.
Minnesota's got some issues. Green Bay's a good team. See, people are waiting for Sam Darnold to revert back to Sam Darnold. But I gave this scenario. Minnesota and the Eagles are in the NFC Championship. The Eagles knock out Sam Darnold. And who comes in? Danny Nichols.
Exactly. By the way, when did I say Joey Lawrence?
Oh.
When? That was going to be the band, because then he follows up with the whole Bert and Ernie thing. So listen.
Wait. What, was Joey Lawrence the one that always be like, whoa?
Yeah. That's, was it Full House? So, yeah, no. I've never called Trevor Lawrence Joey Lawrence.
Hold on a second. Joey Lawrence in Full House?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to Google it. I got to do it. No, he was in Blossom. See, this is why they get on you. This is exactly why they get on you. You're horrible. You're like the butcher of. You are the butcher of Tampa. You are you're just killing names.
Okay, so I screwed up 180 series, 90s.
Yeah, but you also called the one. What was the player?
We're not going back there.
727-858-6650. Jack's fans should have thrown Green Texans headed out. That was bad yesterday. By the way, Joe D in Summers Point chiming in totally disagrees with me. He said, Q, go back and watch the 50s and the 60s. Guys were getting driven into the dirt. They would get back up. They would get driven in the dirt. Get off the lawn, Q. Why? Why do I have to get off the lawn? Because I said he should be suspended for the rest of the season? Is that a soft take? Is that an outlandish take? I can tell you right now, for everyone watching, if your quarterback got drilled like that, you would want blood.
Yep.
You would absolutely want blood. There's no place in the NFL for that. And you have to look at the body of work, $100K fine and a 4-game suspension. I would suspend him the rest of the season. I really would.
Yep, I would.
And the one thing, and no one's talking about this, the Texans lost to the Jets. Okay? They had a bad loss to the Lions. They beat a bad Cowboys team. They lost to the Titans, and they just got by Jacksonville. A lot of people thought the Texans, now they should make the playoffs by default because look at that division. That division stinks. Now, I will say this. I have to turn around. Let me just read this up. NFL will fine a guy for uniform infractions, 5, 10K, etc. But a dirty hit like that, you got to hit the player in the wallet. Yeah, in their game they check. Did you see the ending of the Colts game yesterday?
Yep.
That to me is when we look at the analytics, but that's also a head coach that understands. I got one opportunity here to try to make a run, right? Try to make a push, and that's a pretty big win for the Colts. I mean, the Patriots. Their defensive gaffes late were horrible, but that's a game. And I mentioned Bryce Young with Carolina. They go into overtime. Anthony Richardson yesterday. Just why you can't panic and give up on some of these young quarterbacks too early. You just can't. If you have guys like Kirk Cousins and Daniel Jones and Aaron Rodgers making hundreds of millions of dollars, now I get it. Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer. Kirk Cousins, maybe a Hall of Fame quarterback down the road. Daniel Jones right now a backup, but I'm saying if these guys can continue to go out there and make the same mistakes over and over, well, why are we not sitting them? Why are we not benching them? But we're going to turn around and we're going to be very quick to pull the plug on players like Anthony Richardson and Bryce Young. Nick in Newark chimes in, you got to be freaking crazy. Are you drinking the Eagles juice all of a sudden because they're ripping off wins left and right and your Giants suck? There's no way that the Eagles are the most dominant team in the NFL. See, I didn't say that. That's selective hearing on a Monday, which as Angel knows annoys the hell out of me.
Yep.
I said the Philadelphia Eagles are the most physical team right now in the NFL because the Philadelphia Eagles finally figured it out. We are a run-first football team. That's what we do. We're going to pound the rock. If we can open it up, we'll open it up. 10 yards, 15 yards, then the big hitter, no problem. We talked about this weeks ago. We talked about it last year. We talked about it in the offseason. Every team that's successful in the NFL, they have an identity. If you don't have an identity, you're a bad football team. We were trying to figure out what's this team's identity. It's running the football with Saquon. That's it. It's the offensive line. You got to have an offensive line, but they're running the football. They're averaging what, $130 a game?
Mm-hmm.
Come to January and bad weather and the playoffs, you have to run the football. And what the Eagles are doing that's really impressive, all jokes and kiddingness aside, my hatred for the Eagles, but what they're doing that's really impressive is when teams stack the box, they're basically saying, try to run against me. 2 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, and then boom, 25-yarder, boom, 30-yarder, boom, 40-yarder. Because they're softening up the defense. They're wearing the defense down. In the NFL, yep, 3rd and short, 4th and short, right? Everyone in the stadium knows with the Philadelphia Eagles, you're going to run it or it's going to be the tush push. When the defense knows you got to run the football and I'm an offense and you can't stop me, like that's demoralizing. Like that demoralizes a defense. That demoralizes a player. It zaps their soul. It zaps their, like, I can't stop you. Chunk play, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. Baltimore, they tried to do it a little bit yesterday with Henry, and Saquon's numbers were not gaudy. They weren't. He went over 100 yards yesterday. It was almost like a business-like 100 yards. But what was impressive is that you knew he was about to break one. And what does he do? He breaks a 25-yarder. And Saquon, if you notice too, see, the Eagles kind of figured it out. Saquon, 22 carries, 27 carries. You didn't really need him to carry the football a lot when they beat up on Dallas 34-6. 26 carries, 26 carries, 23 carries. I think I mentioned before the season, he should average 25 plus touches a game. That's how explosive of a player he is. So to Nick's comment, they're a physical team. They're an extreme. They took another team in Baltimore and they punched him in the mouth. Like that's, listen, my projection for the Eagles missing the playoffs was beyond way off. It was beyond way off. Like right now, they have the talent on both sides of the football where they can really make a serious run and get back to the Super Bowl. And if you look at their schedule, where are they really going to be tested? They'll be a 13-point favorite against the Panthers. They'll probably be a 6 or 7-point favorite against the Steelers. They'll be a favorite on the road against Washington. And then they close out the season against the Cowboys and the Giants. They're not going to be dogs in those games. They can beat those teams even if they rest their starters. They really could. They're probably going to finish 14-3, 15-2. Now, can they get home field? That's why they were watching what's going on with Detroit and Chicago. That's why they're watching what was going on with the Green Bays and Minnesotas of the world. Like they want those teams to slip up. It's going to be really hard to go on the road in January in the Link and try to beat that team. I'm more confident that Detroit beats them at home than Detroit going on the road and beating Philly in Philly. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's they're playing at this high level. 727-858-6650. I see a lot of them coming in, Angel.
There's a ton.
Yeah, Saquon is 100% cover of Madden next year. So what does that mean, Madden? Who cares? Commanders are frauds. The fans down at DC are talking Super Bowl after blowing out a Wash Titans team. I feel as though Trevor's probably in that area, but we know Trevor is part of the Bunker Boys crew, and Trevor's an Eagles fan. We know that. That's why for some reason he keeps getting on me on Washington. Bills Mafia, Lions fans in New Orleans for Super Bowl. New Orleans, please, going to be busy. That would be a very fun Super Bowl to watch. I want to comment real quick on the Washington take. Maybe Washington arrived a year early, but they're doing it when a new head coach. They got rid of their 2, quote, best players on defense last year, and they have a rookie quarterback. So I understand the Titans are a bad football team, but when you're good, and you're up 28-7, you don't let up. And that's what they did. They put up 42. Like Daniels, 5 touchdown passes, man, or 3 touchdown passes. I mean, he's played really, really well. He hit that wall a little bit and they were able. See, the other thing is, if you go back, if you look at the past 3 games before yesterday, the offensive line was not protecting Jaden Daniels. He got sacked 4 times against Dallas, I think 3 or 4 times against the Eagles, 4 times against Pittsburgh. And what happens? They lost those games. You give them time in the pocket, protect the football, look downfield, and they can run the ball a little bit. He's going to do some damage. And his legs did some damage yesterday, but they put away a bad team, and that's what you want them to do. 727-858-6650. I don't think Washington's a fraud. I don't. I really don't. It's a game of inches. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, you know who, it's funny that Joey B mentioned Dirk Diggler, right? Because who's the tight end? Oh man, for the Raiders, Brock Bowers.
I don't know that one. Honestly, I don't know. Before I get hammered,
I said he's got the name of Dirk Diggler. He's like that stud tight end for the Raiders. He really is.
She was. I thought that was the funniest thing when he mentioned it.
He, as great as a player as he is, I feel as though he's got a little Mahomes in him where, well, this is a good point, right? Chiefs and Mahomes scrambling ability covers up a lot of bad play calling by Andy Reid. Just my opinion about Mahomes. Chiefs offense record would be middle of the pack. But I can also say that about the Bills, the Eagles, Green Bay. Right? You take him off that squad. Andy Reid, there's a couple of gaffes this year where, typically Andy Reid's going to go for it, and he elected to kick field goals. I mean, you go back to the Denver game, he elected to kick the field goal and almost bit him in the fanny late. Andy Reid's usually a coach where we want to go for it on 4th down. And even in that game against the Raiders, they caught some breaks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Raiders played them. I mean, as a Giant fan, I wanted the Raiders to win because obviously it just helps your draft position. But the Raiders, that's a game that they should have won. You had poor clock management late. You had the same thing again on Thanksgiving with the Bears. You had 33-something odd seconds left. The head coach had no clue that they had a timeout left. The rookie quarterback didn't know what the hell was going on. And then to add insult to injury, and I wanted to get to this too. We take a look at the good, the bad, the ugly. This was the ugly. Add insult to injury, the Bears lose the game. We know that Eberflus is going to get fired, but he's so arrogant. He doubles down on his decision. I thought we handled it well. Then they make him go out and they speak to the media. So I'm going to send you out there, Angel. I pretty much know your ass is going to be fired. I'm sending you out there to speak to the media. And then they turn around and they fire the guy. And by all accounts and report, they're going to stick with polls, and I think that's an absolute mistake. I really do. G in Staten Island chiming in. Q, what do you think the Jets are going to do with Aaron Rodgers? It's definitely a lost season. Do you think they even want him to come back and join the show? I don't. I think Aaron Rodgers is an absolutely shot quarterback. I really do. That's another game. Aaron Rodgers is missing throws that you would say Aaron Rodgers typically doesn't miss. And I was coming back and I was catching a little bit of the game on the radio. They made a point, I think, kind of to paraphrase because I want to be accurate. So just kind of bear with me. His throws of, say like 1 to 15 yards, 1 to 10 yards. At some point during the game, I think it was like 4 or 5. His throws 10 plus yards, I think he was some point 1 of 9. Like his arm strength is not there. The accuracy, delivery, it's not there. He can't move around as well. They were very non-committal during the presser today to say they were going to bench Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that whole move, let me go and bring in my guys and Hackett and Lazard and Adams and jettison all these players. And then you see these players come back, Geno Smith, Leonard Williams making plays against their former team, right? The teams that drafted them. It just has not panned out. So the Jets, they're an absolute debacle. 727-858-6650. What else they saying out there?
Oh, I got to scroll through because I got to get back. All right. I got the Trevor.
Any other corrections on the names?
Oh, yeah. That's coming. Don't worry. That's coming where I see it.
Let's see. What happened on the phone? Bills Mafia. Justin Suckers finish. These kickers are bad, man.
Yep.
Kickers are absolutely bad. Wow, mom. I thought Angel would say Kurt and Lenny.
Yeah. And after I'm quick to bust X-Men's chops, and then what's he?
You know what? Go to those comments right below that.
Hold
You
on.
can still let up because that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's on the hit. You
Correct.
can let up even in the moment. And then if you go to, heat-seeking missile was not going to let up no matter what. I agree. How do you not suspend him for the rest of the season in the playoffs?
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to. NFC is falling apart. The NFC, but see, if you're a Lions or an Eagles fan, this is what you want. Like, who are the biggest threats right now to the Eagles and the Lions coming out of the NFC? Is it Minnesota? Is it Green Bay? I mean, look at the NFC South. That's a horrible division. The NFC West is a horrible division.
And Kirk Cousins he's being benched.
Did they make that official?
Just about. It's all official. Where they're just going to say, "Listen, we paid you."
No. Don't Fox News it. Is it official? Is he benched?
On this morning,
I'm going to see on the ticker. I mean, there's no alert. There's nothing on the ticker here. This is why. Again, can we skip the Giants? I made 30 seconds on the Giants. I spent 30 seconds. I don't see anywhere where Cousins is benched. Meritocracy. That word wasn't taught. That's true. Thibodeau needs to be quiet. Yes, Angel is definitely slipping today. I have no idea what's going on. We start a couple minutes early. I don't even know what's going on. There it was. Thank you. Kenny Pickett. George Pickens. Pickens equals Pickett. That was a bad one.
It was a bad one, but again, it's what was reported.
Oh, here we go. Vince chimes in. Call me. First of all, not old. Grumpy, why? Hold on. Back it up. Why? Because I want the player to be suspended? Let me guess. Hold on. According to Vince, because of what he said last week, it's the new NFL, how the players were raised. Well, guess what? His family did a shitty job. How's that? Come on, man. Vince is a Steelers fan. So let me ask him right now. If Russell Wilson got drilled like that, you thinking the same thing? Seriously, you thinking the same thing?
Probably not.
No. Right? Come on. Ravens, no identity. Pray Jackson and Henry can be superhuman. Tight end's pretty good. The defense, they wore down last night. They wore down. After Q's ran, I feel like I just played 8 overtime sessions. That was a hell of a game, by the way. You should be exhausted. Because at this point, I want to know, again, where do I sit when you think about it? Think about this. Where do you sit with this? The NFL is billions and billions of dollars. The league is driven by what? The quarterback. The job is to protect the quarterback. I know we don't like it sometimes. I know we can call offensive holding on every play. I know there's too many flags. We want the players to be a little more excitable. I get it. Showmanship, celebrate. You get annoyed after a while when a guy's making a 5-yard catch and he's celebrating. You're down 21 points. I don't have time for that nonsense. Call me the grumpy old man. That's just stop. Shut up and play. Make plays. So you want to make a play. You want to hit the quarterback. But you can't hit the quarterback like that. You can't. And to Vince's point from last week, it is a new NFL. Because in the 60s and the 70s, they were pile driving guys. Jack Ham, Jack Lambert, Tatum, Buckus, Taylor. Those guys were drilling guys right in the sternum, right in the chops. You were clotheslining guys. George Atkinson clotheslining players, Terry Bradshaw, these quarterbacks. You can't do that in the NFL. There's too much at stake. You lose your franchise quarterback. You lose your quarterback. Your team is done. The NFL doesn't want that. Why? Because they want eyeballs on the screen. And eyeballs on the screen are driven by the quarterback in the NFL. Sorry, it's just how it is. Nobody wanted to see Drew Lock and Cooper Rush on Thanksgiving. And to be fair, Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones wasn't going to be sexy. But case in point, do you want to see Mahomes and Jared Goff? Do you want to see Mahomes and Allen? Or do you want to see insert backup? You don't. It was a bad hit. It was a dirty hit, period. I don't know how it can be defended, and I don't know how anyone can debate it. And I welcome all opinions, but I'm not going to agree with you guys on this. You cannot ring a guy's bell like that and lead in with the forearm when the player is sliding. I don't want to hear this bang, bang. I got Sargent in Delaware. I got Marcus in Delaware saying it was a bang, bang play. It's the NFL. No, it's not. And you have to go by body of work. If the player is fined multiple times for hitting players late, his reputation is preceding him. So everything led up to that moment. You have to let up. Period. You have to. And it's going to cost him the rest of the season, and rightfully so. But again, I'll go back to what I originally said. If it's Mahomes, Allen, can you imagine if that was Jalen Hurts and that hit occurred in the link? Your boy Big Dom would have been running all over the place trying to grab people.
No, I can't stand it, dude.
I'm just saying. It was a bad hit.
Yep.
Period. Bad hit. Eberflus sounded like a 10th grader explaining why his homework was late. Sorry. I just saw that. Saw that to the side.
That was another dumb one.
His definition was just...
It was dumb.
But they sent him out there. That makes no sense.
I know. But
send this guy out there and then you're going to fire him. I mean, so look, we're in week 13, man. We kind of know Daboll, I think, might be out. Shane might be out. Carolina's playing hard. Doug Peterson, does he get a pass? I mean, did Doug get a pass? The season kind of imploded. You lose Lawrence not once, but twice. You've had some injuries. They've had some bad losses. The London losses were bad. But is that enough where the body of work and he's a Super Bowl winner? I don't think so. I think Doug's out. And I think that's when we're going to start to hear the Belichick conversation. Eberflus is out in Chicago. We'll start to hear the Belichick conversation. You got a quarterback, young quarterbacks you can work with. You know, you draft these guys. That's another argument for another day. I was talking to Lloyd Vance about that. You'll hear him tonight. Lloyd Vance is Insider Football, correct? 8 o'clock?
See?
Are you drafting these quarterbacks? Because none of these quarterbacks blow me away coming out of the draft. They just don't. Ward's good. You know, Sanders is good. They're talented, but they don't, again, blow me away. They don't blow me away. Go ahead, real quick. Go ahead, X-Man, go ahead. Because the X-Man wants to, you know, I'll post it again because Q was angry about being called old. You have to appreciate the changes in game plan by the coach from Mulligan Hill right off Route 30. Sirianni, pound the rock and simple.
Oh, boy.
Man strikes me a guy that likes to go to the diner.
He probably does.
White Horse Diner on Route 30. You kidding me?
You know, it'd be a good sit-down conversation with Joey B and X-Madman. Those two would just shut off one-liners, just one after the other.
Well, it's not even about the old comment. You know? I mean, I got full flock. I'm good. It's about this thinking it's a, quote, new NFL. What does that mean? What does that mean it's a new NFL? Seriously. What does that mean? That means it's free reign. We can start flying, but we can hit these guys anytime we want. Defenseless players, defenseless receiver, defenseless quarterback. Come on. Stop. It's ludicrous. I'm telling you right now, if that's any other quarterback, you guys are going friggin' nuts. If that's your quarterback, you are going friggin' nuts on this Monday. You want blood. You want suspension for the whole season. You want him kicked out of the league. You want this, that, the other thing. That's what you want. It was a cheap shot, man. That's all I can say. It was an absolute cheap shot. There's no place for that in the NFL. He's going to get suspended. Texans got some issues. You talk about, I think X-Man mentioned it, the NFC. You look at the AFC, you got 3 teams in the AFC. I'll give the Steelers credit, but Cincinnati's a sinking ship. And then there's another head coach that might be out. So real quick, before we hit the 40 break, now you guys tell me, I'm going to give you, I believe at the end of the season, and maybe I'm off here, I believe at the end of the season, we will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. Think about these teams that are going to need head coaches. The Jets, right? They have an interim head coach. Mayo's out in New England. That was just a disaster. They can't score. They're horrible. Their offense is horrible. They're minus 86 point differential. There's 2. Cincinnati, I feel bad. Their defense is horrible. Burrow, you're wasting Burrow and Chase's career. Cleveland, does he get a pass? So we'll say 2 right now. AFC South, Jacksonville, I think Peterson's going to be out. Tennessee, so there's 4 teams right there. AFC West, Antonio Pierce is done. That's 5. NFC East, okay. Dallas, maybe. The Giants, maybe. I'll give you 1 team. Maybe it's Dallas. Maybe it's the Giants. That's 6. NFC North, Chicago, that's 7. NFC South, the Saints, right? They need a new head coach. That's 8. NFC West. Those coaches appear to be safe right now. You're talking 7 or 8 potential head coach vacancies in the NFL. And all those teams that I just gave you, what are they all missing? Is Williams a franchise quarterback? Do the Jets have a quarterback? Does New England, Drake May, is he a franchise quarterback? He's giving you some good glimpses. Cincinnati has a franchise quarterback. Jacksonville, Lawrence, we don't know now what the hell. The Raiders don't have a quarterback. The Giants don't have a quarterback. Dallas is going to have quarterback questions. The Bears, Williams is still not, again, rookie, give it some time. The Saints, no. You got to have quarterbacks in the NFL. And it kind of goes back to my original thought when we started the show. That's why you protect the quarterback. Quarterback goes down, you got nothing. You have nothing, period. 727-858-6650. I don't know what Dallas is going to do with McCarthy. I think McCarthy's gone. And I think the Prescott contract was a bad contract. You've got Prescott, you've got Parsons, you got to pay all these guys. It's just a bad fit. We'll open up. We'll get to your thoughts on the other side. 727-858-6650. 540, 20 to play with on this Man Up Monday edition of The Drive with Q. Rich Quinones here. Angel Martinez behind the glass. Don't forget to download the app. SR 1029 FM, The Game. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. A little more NFL talk. We'll get to some NBA time pending as well. LeBron James again says something extremely comical that we like to get into as well. We'll take you up to 6 on a Monday.
Ion Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, iontp.com. Ion Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, The Game powered by Ion Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class. Let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Don't forget to get social with us. Follow Q at RichQ on Q. And now, back to Q.
All right, about 20 to play with. I'm getting so annoyed with some of these takes. Stop with the bang, bang play shit. Stop. I just watched the play 12 times during the commercial break. That was not a bang, bang play. It wasn't. It wasn't a bang, bang. And maybe later on the week we'll throw it up there. But I'm watching it again, and that's my fault. I should have told Angel to load it up. That's on me. That's not a bang, bang play. It's not. It isn't.
For Trevor, you mean?
What's that?
Trevor?
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't a bang, bang play. It wasn't.
Hang on.
I see how no, that's fine. I'm going to continue. But I see how the quarterback, again, you watch the quarterback, you're watching it right now, and he rolls out. That's not bang, bang, man. Once you start, you know he's sliding. Now, he had plenty. I'm sorry. That's not bang, bang. It's not. I just think it's utterly ridiculous that, and again, you cannot go out there with the forearm like that. You just can't.
No, there's no doubt that Trevor represents that well.
Come on, man.
That'll be Al-Shaair, who's flagged for the big hit on the slide, and that's going to...
He almost took his head off. He almost took his head off. We know it's a violent game, but you also have to consider the source. This player's been fined before, guys.
Trevor.
And again, I ask you nicely and calmly on this Monday, if that's your quarterback, are you going to sit there and say it's a violent game? You can't suspend people. That's not a football play. Yeah, that's a football play, right? Even in slow motion with the buffering, like the squigglies and the freezing. It's not a bang play.
I'm pausing because obviously there's no slow-mo on this one, so I'm pausing it.
Look, you can see as soon as he's starting to slide, look where the forearm is.
Right.
And you guys want to condone that? You want to defend that? Get the hell out of here. Stop. You playing a little production on the other side there. Look at that. That makes up for your Joey Lawrence take. It's not a bang bang play, and the NFL will most likely suspend him. He's suspended. He will be suspended. I would say 4 to 6 games. You know, and Rex Ryan coming out saying, "I'm so sick and tired of seeing people teach, hey, slide when you're running out there." Well, then no one is suggesting again, put the apron on the quarterback. No one is implying that. But when you have a play like that, and you guys, I can see already, you guys are hitting me up on X and on Facebook, you know, it's a free reign, free runner. Come on, man. The DB, you know that's a quarterback. You know when the quarterback, 99.9% is sliding like that. And he just drove, like, I think X-Man mentioned it, just like a guided heat-seeking missile, period. 727-858-6650. Let's pull up Tim's comment. I think that's the Dallas comment. Definitely changing coach. McCarthy, regular season, a lot of wins. Playoff, it's a different animal. I think they are going to go in a different direction. And I know once that happens, we'll hear the speculation, Dion. Trevor chimes in, Cliff Kingsbury to Chicago. Familiar name, quarterback. I got. Did you see? Hold on. Did you see Madman's comment?
Oh boy, which one?
The guy on IoT. I don't care. You can put it up. Who cares? We got a partnership with him.
God, Jesus.
The guy on the Ion TV commercial sounds like a mess. Which reminds me, speaking of which, I started to binge watch Dexter, which is incredible.
Right.
It's about a mass murderer.
Yeah.
Serial killer. Yeah. By the way. 727-858-6650. Hold on. I gotta read this comment. This is hilarious. This is on X. Knucklehead E chiming in. Listening in Central Jersey, Q. I'm enjoying the show. Very entertaining, passionate take on the Trevor Lawrence dirty hit. If you ask me, I played football for 20 plus years. I agree with some of your other listeners and commenters. I think it was a clean football play. Lawrence has to understand to not slide in that situation. This is what I'm dealing with on a Monday.
Well, here it is from another angle.
We got hold on. We got another angle. Oh, yeah, right. That's a bang, bang play. My ass. Get the hell out of here. Heat-seeking missile. Look at the forearm. Look at the forearm. Now, substitute Lawrence from, I don't know, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. What are we doing?
I'm trying to find also his apology.
Not you. I meant in general.
No, I know you're not talking about me. What I'm saying is I'm also trying to find his apology because he put out an apology out there.
I don't give a shit about the apology. I don't care about his apology. You know why he's apologizing? Because he knows he's going to get fined and suspended. That's why he's apologizing. He knows he's going to get fined and suspended. Period. He also knows he's been fined several times. Everyone always wants to, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it anymore. That's a dirty play from a dirty player that has a track record of cheap shots and getting fines. I don't want to hear it anymore with this. No. Nope. Everyone's always sorry because they got caught. I don't want to hear. Oh, where'd you mean to put it in? I don't want to hear it. Sorry, it was an accident. Oh, hand in a cookie jar. Sorry. Oh, I was texting. I hit you from behind. Sorry. Nah, I don't want to hear it anymore. Now you make my microphone come off. See, this is what happens now. I get all disheveled because the mic just came out. What do you got there? You pointing your finger at me?
No, not you. It's coincidentally I muted my mic because my producer walked in, and then your mic becomes unplugged.
Oh, all right. Well, there we go. We're back. 727-858-6650. All right, let's clean them over these comments. See what the rest of these guys have to say. Whoa, FCC. It's not. I didn't say anything wrong. Whoa. Oh, by the way, this was also pointed out. Hold on.
Yes.
Sue in Delaware chimes in. Caught you guys for the first time last week. Loving the show. By the way, can you tell Angel, Joey Lawrence, Blossom, Brotherly Love, Oliver Company, and Melissa and Joey?
Good Lord. All right.
Listen, Delaware coming in with the Joey. Well, I mean, listen, it's a Hallmark moment, right?
Good Lord. All right. It happens every once in a while.
What
do you want to say?
Yeah. That you just kind of mess up. Wrong whole comments are absurd. Oh.
And now he was and then wise guy over here wants to say, great job, Sue. Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good catch. She caught that, but the listeners are listening.
I know they are.
What we want.
I already have X-Men.
A fake Twitter account for Yeah, well, it's funny too because Man's getting on me, but isn't he also the one that I think had the comment about the Gentleman's Club?
Sure did.
Right? And now, now he's turning around and putting it back on us.
Wait. If we're going to go that route, hang on. Because as much as he wants to pick on me, where is it?
I'm just saying the hypocrisy from some of the listening audience is.
Excuse me. Spell the word identity.
Excuse me?
Madman. Spell the word identity.
No identity, just pray. Well, I mean, I can't really get on him for typo. Right? they're typing fast. I can't get on these guys. By the way, Monday Night Football tonight is Bo Nix. Bo Nix might be the offensive. What's the problem? Offensive rookie. I'm trying to make a comment here. What do we got here?
I know you are, because he heard me already saying that.
Oh,
Look,
triple
that's
typo.
triple typo.
You've got Denver and Cleveland tonight. Denver is laying 6. You guys want to open and tease that one with the total 41.5. Bo Nix has played really well. Denver figuring out, head coaching in the NFL, right? Sean Payton in Denver, Harbaugh with the Chargers right now. 727-858-665. It makes all the difference in the world. Real quick, I know we got a couple minutes to play with. Did you hear the latest from
Oh boy,
LeBron James? We'll talk about this Wednesday or Friday. We'll see if we can get Jonathan Marshall on for a couple months. So you know how LeBron basically, just they were so enthralled with these in-season tournaments and celebrating this, that. Well, he turns around now and he basically says, you know what? We shouldn't have those types of tournaments because you get friggin' bounced.
okay.
I mean, he's unbelievable, right? I mean, think about this. I mean, it gets to the point right now, especially in the NBA. Now, I've been following the NBA. I told you, once we get to Christmas, we go a little more heavier with the NBA. By the way, John McMullen, Eagles have waived vested veteran wide receiver Paris Campbell, expect him back on the practice squad after he clears waivers. And speaking of which, I did mention, and I talked about this earlier, did a couple spots. I would be remiss. Luke Carnesecca, my St. John's, the mainstay at St. John's, passed away. He was 99. Lucky Lou in the sweaters, 84, 85, the Big East, St. John's, Villanova, Syracuse, Georgetown, never had a losing season. That's, 99, you live an exceptional life. But he was New York basketball, man. And St. John's is pretty good this year. St. John's is real good. Well, we'll get into a little more college basketball later in the week. And I definitely want to start getting into a little more college football as well. Beautiful evening here in Denver for Monday Night Football. That's Joey B. I'm wondering, you got snowflakes out there or what? What's going on?
No, I don't think so.
No snow in Denver?
Not tonight, I don't believe.
No?
Mm-mm.
I mean, do you think a lot of people in, Carnesecca, absolutely. New York Hoops back in the day. Yep. The funny thing is when John Thompson took off his jacket, I think it was in 85, no snow right now. When Georgetown was ranked number 1, St. John's was ranked number 1 for a short period of time during that season. And he pulled off the jacket and he had the ugly sweater. Luke Carnesecca was given that sweater. So superstition, he kept wearing it. And then they won the Big East title in 85. They made it to the Final Four. The Final Four, back in the day, in 85, it had 3 teams from the Big East. 3 teams. You had Georgetown, Villanova, St. John's, and then the 4th team was Memphis. So you had 3 out of 4 Big East. Georgetown just absolutely, Georgetown beat St. John's. Villanova got through Memphis. And then obviously Villanova had the big upset win over Georgetown. What was that game? I think it was like 66-64. Harold Pinckney was just unbelievable. Raleigh Massimino and the whole gang. But that, to me, the Big East back in the day made college basketball. It put college basketball on the map. You had Tuesday, you had Thursday, you had the Big East, you had the Big East matchups, you had the games on ESPN, the games on USA Today, the games on CBS. Really, really back in the day. I mean, it's funny. They do all those wonderful moments for like the passing of John Madden,
right?
Thanksgiving. And I still maintain that our era, around our age, when you watch the NFL on CBS, Summerall and Madden, when you watch the NFL today, right? The NFL on CBS, when you watched, hoops or the NBA they had everything. March Madness on CBS, Super Bowl on CBS, NFL on CBS, NBA on CBS. You had Musburger, Pat O'Brien. Remember Pat O'Brien, Tommy Heisen? And, you had those games in the 80s, in the early and the mid 80s, man. You go on YouTube and you watch any of that. And as a kid, it was great. If Madden and Summerall were doing the game, it was a big game. It was a huge game.
Yep.
Right? Jimmy the Greek, Irv Cross, right? Summerall, Musburger. Jimmy the Greek, I say this all the time. Jimmy the Greek never, ever gave out the gambling line. He would always say, I think they're a touchdown better. Musburger, I wouldn't say naughty, but we know that there's going to be a higher, what was it? Was it Florida State? When they panned over, a lot of people are going to be applying to Florida State. What was that? A shot at Jenny Sturger, I think it was, in the crowd. So Musburger, listen, he's a gambling guy now. His nephew's running Visa Network. But point being is, you knew it was a big spot, big game, big moment. And then what really sucked when you were a kid is like late in the fourth quarter when they would have this, the graphic, coming up, following the game, 60 minutes, except on the West Coast. Murder, she wrote. And then you topped it off with the Sunday night movie. And if you were lucky, maybe you would get a Jaws. Maybe you get a little Rocky 2 or 3. Maybe you get a little Raiders of the Lost Ark. Close Encounters, a little E.T., perhaps. But once Summerall said, Murder, She Wrote, 60 minutes, you're like, shit, I got to get up and go to school on a Monday. Right? But I say it to say this. With the passing of Louis Carnesecca, they remembering John Madden, that was the heyday of sports, man. That was the heyday. Now, it's just, I don't know. You got so many networks, you got so many talking heads. It's, Are you a Chris Collingsworth fan?
No.
Really?
No.
What about Mike Tirico?
Mike Tirico I like. Chris Collingsworth.
What about Al Michaels?
Al Michaels I like.
Okay. You like Buck and Aikman?
On ESPN, so I've always liked Aikman. Buck I didn't like, but being on ESPN, he's now tolerable. I don't know what it was. Maybe over at Fox, he just drove me bananas. But over on ESPN, I'll tolerate him.
All right. Iron Eagle, Kevin Harlan. I think they're fantastic.
Oh yeah, got a chance to speak to him.
I actually like Collingsworth. I know people say he talks too much.
The problem is he's super bandwagon rider. Same way when the Eagles and Patriots played in the Super Bowl, here we are tonight. We're going to do this and blah, blah, blah. Riding that freaking horse up there with the freaking plate. Here they come. And all of a sudden, Eagles take the lead. Oh, what do we have here? Look out. Here comes Philadelphia. You suckface. You were all about the Patriots all night long. Now, all of a sudden, because the Eagles are about to win the Super Bowl, now it's, I knew it was going to happen. Come on now. I can't stand it, dude.
On that note, we'll close out with the last two, Madman and Joey B. Whole bunch of Tessitors now. Yes. A lot of Joe Tessitors out there. Not the biggest fan. Angel just watches games on mute now and commentates himself. Yeah, a lot of those off of Passyunk Avenue with the lot lizards. Greg Olson Fox. He's really bad. Do you have lot lizards in Florida?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? All the truck stops down here? Yeah. It's like Rent-A-Center. Are you kidding me? Yep. Okay. You, and come on, let's go. Hop on in. There's tons of them. By the way, because I know we didn't get a chance to say this before you do your rolling credits. I will say thanks to not only the people who listen in the morning, but because I look forward to, obviously, to Joey B all the time. He's been around for the longest. But for Ex-Madman, because he's become pretty much a favorite around here. And
I can't even look at the guy.
Listen, he's quick-witted, so I got to give it to him. But Trevor and everybody else, no, because every show has its own, like, just people like to chime in. But Ex-Madman,
it's a lot lizard com as that came out.
I know.
Listen, can I hold on a second? That's the first time I heard that term. Several years ago, my buddy brought it to my attention. Lot lizard. That's why I was asking.
Really?
Yeah.
That's freaking notorious. Especially, I learned about it in North Carolina when I was in the military, because that was the first place. So there used to be this bar, this country bar that wasn't that far away from the post. And then what used to make me laugh was every time we would pass by, it's like, lot lizards. Now I'm actually looking for the little ones. on the ground. And so one of the guys had finally said, you don't know what the hell a lot lizard is? Oh, Jesus. All right.
No. Hold on. Punch up Joey's comment. Then let me wrap it up. Big East hoops, NFL fines to lot lizards.
Season's got covered.
Yeah, I was a menace. Yeah. Listen to Pumping the Oldsmobile. Listen to a little Warren G. 1984, my Cutlass Supreme. That was a big ass car, man.
That was a big car.
Had to turn the dial. Had to roll down the windows.
Yep.
If I was lucky, if I can get a cassette in there. Oh, little regulators. You kidding me? Little Prince. Oh, Purple Rain. Little salsa mix, 90 style.
Didn't they also have, before I get ridicule you, wasn't there a Cutlass Sierra?
It was a Cutlass Supreme. It wasn't a Cutlass Sierra.
Okay.
It was a Cutlass Supreme.
All right.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
One of my buddies, we were in high school. He owned one, and that's like, so his dad passed it on to him. And what ended up happening was he would have like the squelching speakers. It was the worst kind of poor Jesus. See, this is why I was saying
that I could have fit the B team and the C team.
Yep. Sure could have.
Oh man.
Next one in
so funny? Real quick, what's so funny? So like back in the day, my father would always be like, I'll change the oil. So you know what he would do? He would put the car on the license plate. All right, that's it. We're wrapping it up. He's got his show coming up, and we appreciate him giving us a couple more minutes. All right, don't forget we're on demand.
That's gonna be a great playback.
Oh man, can you imagine that? 4 on the B team, 4 on the C team. Everyone with a little Lisa Cult jam in the back. Going down 95, exit 4 off the turnpike. Good stuff from the comments. Don't forget, Jay's coming up next. Keep it locked in. Lloyd Vance is Insider Football. Pete Shepard will get you started tomorrow from 7 to 10. Angel and I back in the saddle on Wednesday. And then, of course, on Friday, Angel's got his USF duties as well. Download the app, 102.9 FM The Game. I do like Denver tonight, Monday Night Football. Appreciate you guys making the hour plus fly by. You guys are fantastic. 727-858-6650. That'll get you involved. Coming up on the other side with Jay's show as well. Text in and give a listen. He does a really good job. Angel will be producing, as always, Lloyd Vance is Insider Football, 8 to 9 as well. He'll recap all of Week 13. You knuckleheads have a good sports Monday. Appreciate you chiming into a Man Up Monday edition of The Drive with Q. For Angel Martinez, I'm Rich Quinones. As always, be safe, be sound. Hasta luego, buen día.